Hey everyone, it's Carter King. If you're an educator, a leader, or just a parent who wants to teach kids about space, check out my newest book, Carter's Journey Through Space. It's available now on Amazon, Target, and bookstores everywhere. Come explore the universe with me.
Welcome to another episode of the Contagious Culture Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle King, and the goal of this podcast is simple: to help you create environments where people thrive. Through real conversations, practical strategies, and powerful stories, we equip leaders, educators, and change makers just like yourself to build cultures rooted in purpose, performance, and authenticity. Because culture isn't something you talk about, it's something you live. This is the Contagious Culture Podcast. Let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of the Contagious Culture Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle King, and the goal of this podcast is to help you create ecosystems and environments where people thrive. Look, I haven't been live by myself and since the podcast-a-thon a few weeks ago, but I wanted to be able to come on because I had a message that I wanted to be able to share with all of my executive directors, my school leaders, my community builders, and the people who didn't wake up trying to run an organization. You woke up trying to solve a problem that mattered. And now you're responsible. You are responsible for payroll. You're responsible for fundraising. You're responsible for staff culture. You're responsible for boards and board development and community building and impact metrics. And somehow you're expected to operate like you've had an MBA and a COO since day one. And I want to be able to spend 25, 30 minutes with you today to give you a reframe that not only will change your life based upon how it's changed my own, but it will ultimately impact and improve how you're running your organization as well. And the truth is, you're not tired because you're weak. You're tired because your weak has no container. You're not tired because you are a weak person. You are just tired because your actual week, your calendar week, has no container. So again, in the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to give you a simple framework that I've used that has really been able to help me scale up my operation, but it's provided me, and I'm going to provide you a weekly leadership operating system that you can use literally starting after Christmas, because today's Christmas Eve, that you can start immediately. And it's designed for real people in the real world that are solving real problems. Not theory, not a fancy planner, something that you can run with a calendar, a notebook. And what I want you to do periodically throughout this conversation that we're going to have today is I want you to put OS in the comments, OS in the comments. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the recording to this, but then also a resource that can be able to help you upscale, upcharge, level up your own operation. All right. Because, the real problem exists. And here's the issue. Most times, most leaders that I run into, they run their week based upon whatever is the loudest: the inbox, the fire, the board responsibility, the board email, the staff issue, the parent complaint within the school, the donor who suddenly wants something right now today, the grant deadline, all of these various things from the event logistics. And you end up spending your whole day and your whole week doing what's urgent rather than doing what's important. And what's important continues to get postponed. It continues to have us procrastinate on priority, and we don't really focus on what's the most important. And that creates challenges, and that creates a challenge within your business, within your operation. And then Friday shows up, or even Thursday in this case. And I was, you say something like, I was busy all week, but what do we actually do to move the needle forward? And if that sounds like you, I've been there. And you don't have a time problem. You have a structure problem. You have a system problem. And I'm not saying your work isn't hard. It is. What I am saying, if we simplify and create a rhythm, a repeatable, like I said earlier, container, so that you can stop bleeding every week. We're going to be able to improve in a lot of our areas. And the truth is, this matters because you need to be able to operate at your highest level of efficiency, and you need to be able to increase your own capacity, um, because a lot of us become accidental CEOs for a second. A lot of us step into these roles because we have a heart that is the size of the country, but we didn't go to get an MBA. We didn't go to business school. We didn't have a business mentor. We haven't had the privilege of buying and building and selling companies and all of these different things. And a lot of us, similar to me, are builders. You are doers. You are heart led, and you'll jump in anywhere at any time. And what I recognize and what I love about you is that's your superpower. But if you don't build a weekly operating system, your superpower becomes your downfall, because you become your organization's, it really becomes an emergency response unit, is like how I wrote it down as I was preparing to have this conversation with you all today. And when you become the EMS, when you become the emergency response unit, or the ERU, two things happen. Your team now becomes dependent on you. And then number two, you never really get to a space to think, to plan, and to lead. And I'm recognizing that currently, because that time to think, that time to be creative, that time to plan, especially during this season, that holiday season, the end of the year, is critical for you being able to catapult your business, your organization, and your overall impact forward. And what happens is that your culture starts to drift. Your fundraising efforts become inconsistent. Your impact becomes harder to drive. And you start to feel like you're just doing a lot, but you're not building anything. And in the next 20 minutes, because I promise you, I was only going to be on here for 20, 25 minutes. For the next 20 minutes, I'm going to provide you a fix for that. And what I call it is the 4-block weekly leadership OS operating system. The 4-block weekly leadership OS. And the 4 blocks are comprised of focus, funding, culture, and proof. Let's say it with me. Focus, funding, culture, and proof. All right. And what I've learned is that when these 4 areas, these 4 containers are handled weekly, your organization stabilizes. And you have to get stabilized before we can be able to move forward. You have to get stabilized before we can optimize. So when these 4 things are ignored, you begin to experience what you're experiencing now. It becomes chaotic. It's all over the place. The communication channels are all over the place. The systems are all over the place. So I want to walk you through each block. I'm going to wrap us up, and then we're going to close out, and then I'm going to be able to let you go and continue your Christmas Eve shopping. All right, let's get to it. So number 1 is focus. And put a focus in the chat, put a focus in the comment section if you are with me on this one. The question is, here's the main question. What is the outcome that matters the most by this Friday? If it is Monday or if it is Sunday when you're planning out your week, I want you to ask this question moving forward. What is the outcome, the one outcome that matters most by Friday? Not 10 priorities, not a list, one outcome. Because if you're trying to do everything, you'll do nothing well. And look, I'm a mission-driven leader. You're a mission-driven leader. Mission-driven leaders struggle because they believe that everything matters. But I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me real clear. If everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. So your focus block, step 1, your focus block, and this is probably me talking to me, is 60 minutes. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to write the top outcome for the week in 1 sentence. My top outcome for this week is to accomplish this, to do this. And then I want you to identify 2 to 3 actions that make it real. 2 to 3 actions that make it real. And then what I want you to do after you identify those 2 to 3 actions, I want you to put those actions on the calendar and block the time. Block the time. This is a focus block. And then put those 2-3 actions in the notes section and block that time out. I'm gonna give you some examples. Submit the grant proposal and secure 2 letters of support. So now you write down those 2 action steps. Finalize the spring enrollment plan and assign owners. Now you write your 2 actions. Rebuild the donor flow up follow-up system, and contact 15 warm leads. Now you write the system and the actions. All right. One outcome, 2 to 3 actions, calendar. That's it. Let's keep it super simple. Let's keep our time today tight. I want you to identify that one outcome, identify and break down those 2 to 3 actions, and then put it on your calendar. All right, let's get to number 2. The funding block. The funding block, because the reality of it is we got to move money, or we have to move partnerships. I mean, that's as simple as it gets, especially in mission-driven leadership space. This is where what I see in a lot of the organizations that I work with and a lot of the leaders that I talk to, this is where leaders get nervous. But I want to normalize this activity, and that's why we're adding this as a block, okay? If your mission requires resources, and all missions do, then fundraising cannot be optional. It is not extra. It is a part of your leadership, and it has to be a part of your DNA, okay? 60 minutes a week minimum dedicated to one action that moves the needle forward in regards to money or partnerships has to happen. Not thinking about fundraising, not making a plan, not developing slides, not developing a deck. No, action. And here are some examples for you. I want to call 3 donors and ask for meetings. I want to follow up with 10 people in my pipeline. I want to draft and send 5 sponsorship outreach emails. I want to make 1 clear ask. I want to build 1 partnership proposal. I want to invite 2 people to a tour. I want to record a 2-minute impact video for our donors. These are real clear actions. And if you didn't get it, I need you to watch the replay and write these actions down, because now you can be able to build this into your schedule. See, a lot of leaders, and I've been that leader, a lot of leaders do this when they have time. A lot of leaders do this when they have time, with quotations, right? But if you do it when you have time, you'll never have the time, because it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to be able to ask for money. It's uncomfortable to negotiate some resources. It's uncomfortable. So what I want us to do, I want us to block out that time. Let's actually make this an actionable time while you're watching, while you're listening in. I want you to make this time actionable. Put it on the calendar. Put it on the calendar. So when you think about block 1, it's a focus block. We want to be able to identify 1 major outcome for this week. What is the 1 major outcome for this week? And then we want to tie 2 to 3 actions to that outcome, and then put it on our calendar. 60 minutes. Number 2 is our funding block. Look, this is the sweet spot. If we're running an organization that requires resources, then we have to make this a priority. 60 minutes. 60 minutes a week. 60 minutes. Call those donors. Make that 1 clear ask. Build 1 partnership. Record a 2-minute impact video. And I want you to be able to put it on your calendar. And listen, your funding block does not have to be perfect, y'all. It just has to be consistent. I recommend the same thing so that I can be able to create a weekly cadence, so that on Mondays from 3 to 4, I'm doing this. Tuesdays from 2 to 2 or 2 to 3, I'm doing this, whatever it needs. Consistency builds trust, and that trust builds support. Okay. All right, let's get to number 3. Number 1 was that focus block. Number 2 was that funding block. Number 3 is the culture block. It's 1 action that creates or changes experience. Culture is everything. And just like it says all the time, just like we say, the energy you bring is the culture you create. Culture is not a poster. It's not a retreat. It's not a speech. Culture is what it feels to work here on a random Wednesday, to show up in front of you all. So every week you want to pick 1 culture move, just 1 that we can be able to commit to. Recognize someone publicly with specifics that they've done or that they've contributed. Have a hard conversation that you've been avoiding. Clarify expectations for 1 role. Fix 1 operational pain point. Reset meeting norms. Do a 10-minute team temperature check. What's 1 thing we should stop, start, and continue, or keep, stop, and start? Here's why it matters. If you do not intentionally shape culture, the stress will shape it for you. If you do not intentionally shape culture, the stress will shape it for you. And when stress is shaping your culture, people quit. The gossip begins. The drama begins. The exhaustion begins. So what I want us to do in block 3, I want us to identify 1 culture move that we can be able to commit to for 30 to 60 minutes every single week. One meaningful change, one meaningful move that changes the experience, that changes the feeling, that changes the overall environment and ecosystem of the people that you're creating, that you're building, that you're leading. So let's move to number 4. Let's move to number 4, proof. It's a proof block. So number 1 was all about focus. How can I set one outcome? How can I create 2 actions under that outcome? And then how can I put that on my calendar? Then we move to funding. We have to be able to acquire these resources. Look, here's the reality. 94% of companies and corporations in 2026 have communicated that they're going to either keep or increase their giving efforts in 2026. Why are we not doing it? Why are we not submitting that grant proposal? Why are we not reaching out to that company? Why are we not building these relationships? Why are we not increasing the capacity in our donor pipeline? Why are we not doing it? Number 3 is proof. Number 3 is proof. Or number 4 is proof. Most leaders are doing great work, but they're not capturing it. I know a lot of people that are doing phenomenal things, but they're just not capturing it. They're not showing it. And in this age that we're in, we have to showcase the growth. We have to showcase the transformation. We have to showcase the testimonials. We have to. So donors don't see it. Boards don't feel it. The community doesn't understand it. Staff don't get reminded that progress is happening. Proof is where you capture. It's where you're able to create awareness, to create engagement, and to be able to build something truly meaningful and long-term. So here's what it looks like. I want you to capture wins. I want you to showcase metrics. I want you to tell stories. I want you to share testimonials. I want you to showcase the before and after. I want you to share photos, quotes, short impact updates, an impact report. This is another 30-minute to 60-minute block, y'all. And here's the rule. Every single Friday, I need you to capture 3 bullets. Number 1, what did we accomplish this week? Number 2, what did we learn this week? And number 3, what proof do we have? Whether it's a number, whether it's a story, whether it's a quote, whether it's a screenshot. If you do this every Friday, your fundraising gets easier, your board update gets easier, and your leadership gets calmer because you actually see progress. So now every month, when we're connecting with our board of directors, you know what happens? Here's what happens. We now can trace all of the various things that we've been doing because we've been intentional and we had that focus goal. We were intentional and we had that funding goal. We were intentional and we had that culture goal. We were intentional and now we have that proof goal. 4 blocks to create a weekly reset. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to make it practical. I want every Monday morning or Sunday night, you do a 15-minute reset. This is breaking it down for you all. We're doing a 15-minute reset. This is the last Wednesday of 2026. It's the last one. This is the last one. Is it? Actually, maybe not. Maybe we have one more. As I look at it, 7 more days. When we think about it, and as we look forward, here's the exact script I want you to follow. Number 1 in the focus block, what's the one outcome by Friday? In this 15-minute reset, what's the one outcome by Friday? Number 2 in the funding block, what is one action that moves money or partnerships forward? Number 3 within the culture block, what is one action that improves how work feels for my team? And then number 4, proof block, what proof will capture this week? And then you do the most important part. You put it on your calendar. Because if it's not on the calendar, it's not real. This is how you stop living in reaction mode and start setting intentional goals towards creating intentional progress so that we can be able to create massive impact within the communities that we serve on a day-to-day basis. Now, what I've seen when I've shared this before publicly within my organization, as well as with our students, mistake number 1 is that you pick a focus outcome that's really vague. Look, I want you to make it measurable. By Friday, X is complete. Mistake number 2 is you treat funding like a mood. No, one funding action weekly, and I need it scheduled. Number 3, you overcomplicate culture. I want one small weekly beat that can move us forward, that can move the needle forward. And then number 4, you don't capture proof. I want 3 bullets every single Friday and no exceptions. You have to increase your expectations so that you're not accepting anything under the standard. So here's the takeaway. Here's what I want to give you. Here's what I want to leave you with. You don't need more motivation. You need a better system. You need a container like we talked about earlier. Your mission deserves structure. Your people deserve consistency. And you, individually, deserve a week that doesn't eat you alive. And if you want to be able to create that, then I need you to put OS in the comment section. And if you want help installing this system into your organization with accountability, with coaching, and with systems, that is exactly what we do inside the Growth Alliance and in the Growth Lab. Click the link in my bio and let's learn some more. Schedule a strategy session. And we want to be able to help you strategize, secure, and be able to scale your fundraising efforts in 2026. My name is Kyle King. I'm the host of the Contagious Culture Podcast. And one of the questions that we ask you every single episode is, what type of culture are you creating? Remember this, the energy you bring is the culture you create. Build it with intention, lead it with heart, and I'll see you next episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Contagious Culture Podcast. If this episode challenged or inspired you, hey, take a second to share it with someone who's building culture in their world. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps more leaders, educators, and change makers just like yourself join the movement. You can connect with me on LinkedIn or YouTube at Kyle S. King for more tips, tools, and methodologies to be able to help you create this ecosystem of absolute excellence. Until next time, lead boldly, live intentionally, and remember, your culture is contagious. Make it worth catching.